Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everyone. Welcome to the 27th chord of Birth Alive Story Circle, the chord that connects one life to the other. I'm your host and host, Sneha Bakkal, who flows with you in your journey of pregnancy, birth, labor, and postpartum, hence a certified birth doula and a traditional birth keeper. Our today's guest is our very dear sister Mubina Chogule. She's a very dear friend of mine and a doula. She is a homemaker and she's been dedicatedly homeschooling her five children at home, like homeschooling, obviously. So, five children together. And she's an amazing mother doing lots of creative activities with them. She's a birth nerd, passionate about physiological, unmedicated home births. She loves watching mothers evolve and heal through their unmedicated birth journeys. So, here we have the most talked about birth story and the most favorite person of everyone, Sister Mubina. Welcome to this channel, Sister Mubina.
Thank
Thank
you.
you
Thank you, Sneha,
so much.
for the amazing introduction. Okay, I'll begin with my birth stories.
So,
2009. I'll give you a short recap of
yeah,
all my birth stories, and then I'll come to the current one. You want to say something?
yeah. So I was going to say that you'll just give short recap of all the births you had, and then the current VBAC forcing.
Okay. So 2009 was my first pregnancy. That's around maybe 16, 17 years back. Yeah. I was as young as 20 years old. I got married at 19 and 2021 was my first pregnancy. I was naive. I didn't know anything about birth. It's
So there's
just
also a
the
request that will switch into both language, Urdu and English would be great.
okay. I'll try. My major command is English, but I'll try to switch wherever I can. Okay. So yeah, the first birth, as usually you're first excited to have your first child. The hospital that we chose, we are the eldest children. Both me and my husband are the eldest couple within our family, so it's the first baby within the house as well. And to talk of these birth topics, we there's no one who spoke to us about birth. I think it's a taboo within our Indian culture to educate women about sex or birth. These topics are never opened. Maybe some families do break these taboo, but then it was not a norm within our houses. So as usual, me trying to figure out what's happening and the changes, it was completely new to me. And I don't think so we had much knowledge. Right now there's Instagram and Facebook, but back then there was not much knowledge available. So we chose a hospital. We just went with the flow. We chose a hospital where we both birthed. So Dar Al Shifa and Kuwait. So that's where I was born and my husband was. So we chose an Indian doctor in there because we were Indians. That's how we had our criteria of reaching to the doctor where we reached. Alhamdulillah, I ate well and the pregnancy was beautiful. I had no issues whatsoever. Um, a couple of markers now I would call as red flags. Back then I didn't know, but the first time, the first thing at 6 months, she said, "You're not adding on weight," and she gave me a little milk powder to gain weight. If I see myself now as a doula, back then I think that was not an issue. And then at 36 week, she did a hand check. She told me, "Let me check you. Let me check you. Let me see how dilated you are and how long it will take to birth." And uh, she told me to have cinnamon tea. So this is the only knowledge that I have to have the right birth and to have a good birth. That's all that I knew. So I would have some cinnamon tea. Maybe that would put me in labor. I didn't even know what labor was. But after the hand check, within few days, my water bag broke. And again, I didn't know what a water bag break is. I was not even sure if it's water bag or it's even urine leaking because sometimes with the pressure of baby growing, you sometimes, I mean, you do experience urine leaks as well. So my husband told me I was trying to call a friend who was a doctor, was becoming a doctor in India. My husband told me call your mom or call my mom. Maybe they'll guide you on what's happening. And I called them and they told me we have no idea. Maybe call your doctor. So I called my doctor and she told me come next morning. This happened at night. It was Ramadan and she told me come the next morning. I like okay, I'll go. I went the next morning and by the time it was initially the water leak was just it was just short spurts, By the time it was morning, there were huge gushes of water coming out. And I think I still remember overnight the baby, my eldest son's head was just pushing down the cervix. That's what I can describe now, but back then I couldn't describe it this way. So yeah, I reached the morning, and that date so that on that day, the date was 999, and people on that date in the hospital were getting 4 cesareans done just to get that date, 090909. And I was like, till so I reached the hospital at 10. I could only see my doctor at 2 because she was so busy doing cesareans just for the people to get that date. And I was waiting, and my water was leaking. I took the appointment. I only met her at 2. The first thing she looks at me, she tells me, "Why didn't you go to the emergency?" I'm like, I didn't know I had to go to the emergency. And then they put the NST. They were looking at the heart rate. And she could find low fetal tones in the NST. So immediately she took my husband out, my mother-in-law out. As usual, when you're in an Indian setup, you have the whole Indian family drama along with you. And she told them either she survives or the baby survives. Otherwise, we have to get the cesarean done. I mean, we have to get the cesarean done immediately, or either one will survive. That's how she scared them. I am not even aware of. Yeah, that's what they were told. And my husband said, okay, get the cesarean done because anyone's going to get scared when the death card is being played. And they signed the papers. And that's it. I was being wheeled to the OT. And my first emergency C-section was done. The recovery was painful. The walking was painful. I think it all happened so quick that I couldn't wrap my head around what happened and what went wrong. The only thing everyone kept telling me, why did you go to the hospital so late when you had a water leak? Why did you go so late? What made you sit at home? That's the only thing the people around or friends or everyone was telling me. I didn't know I had to go early. The doctor told me to come next morning. I went next morning. So yeah, I recovered. I had a child in hand to take care, so not much to think about. But though that birth left a very bitter, a very resentful feeling within my heart, like something went wrong. I don't know what went wrong, but something is wrong. Those questions within me, how long can there were questions within me, how long can I wait after a water break? How long have women waited after a water break? Does a natural childbirth happen after a water break? There were so many questions within my head. I couldn't answer them. I would Google them, but I would not receive any answers. I didn't know whom to ask. I don't know if I was crazy to even have these questions or if I should go about asking these questions to anyone. I left those questions. Maybe those questions are between me and Allah, and someday I would receive an answer, thinking I don't have any answers right now, but someday the doors would open and I'll have answers to these questions. Next year, I think I was expecting, I think maybe I must have gone into depression as well. I don't even know. But then, yeah, next year I had a pregnancy where uh, I had a lot of congenital disorders. Baby had spina bifida. I changed the doctor to a relative in search for a VBAC. I could, when I could log into Baby Center and APA, the American Pregnancy Association, they would send emails, right? So I could read over there that anyone can have a VBAC or you're a good candidate to have a VBAC. So that was my next goal. I could not have my first natural birth. Maybe I can have a VBAC. But unfortunately, I changed the doctor to a relative, thinking another very good doctor over here, working in a renowned hospital, thinking that maybe she will give me what I'm asking for. So unfortunately, the baby had spina bifida, hydrocephalus, and a lot of congenital disorders. And she told me just because of the big head, which we discovered at three to 4 months. She said because of the big head, this birth is definitely a cesarean, and this birth is definitely a cesarean, and most of the cases, more than 90% of the cases, after birth, the babies don't survive. So she suggested it's best that you abort. Uh, it's up to you, but you abort the pregnancy because of the number of disorders or the congenital disorders. I was left in limbo. I didn't want to go through the entire cesarean pain again, just for a loss, and yeah, all those questions. But somehow, may Allah forgive me, I don't know if it was the right decision or not, but I took the call to abort the pregnancy. I traveled to India because that was the quickest, shortest distance. That was the first natural birth I had. I had a second boy, in fact. I was administered Pitocin, and within I had to be dilated for 5 centimeters. So it took me like at least an entire day to dilate to 5 centimeters and birth the child. That pain was again intolerable. Pitocin pain is very hard, and my body. I think yeah, that's the first time my body births, and somewhere in my head, I did remember that my scar could endure this. My scar could endure the pain of the Pitocin. I had one scar. Following, I had a miscarriage. I had a miscarriage at 2 months. That was fine. And then, yeah, 5 years later, between my first and my second child, I had my daughter. So I again went back to her. I went back to my doctor. And alhamdulillah, this was a healthy pregnancy. She promised me a VBAC. She told me, yes, we'll try for a VBAC. The only condition that she placed was I'll not go beyond 40 weeks. I'll not go beyond 40 weeks, and you can't be induced. That's the only condition that she placed, because she told me when you're induced, your chances of rupture are higher. They're more higher. I like, okay, so technically for me, technically for me, I understood I have 40 weeks with me, and I'll deliver within that time period. Again, I know nothing about pregnancy, nothing about birth, other than only what the doctors are feeding me. I'm going to them with a lot of trust and with a lot of I felt that they're listening to me. I felt they're going to give me what I want. That's the hope or the expectation that I had from them. Yeah, she told me 40 weeks till 39 weeks. She promised me, just like the way every month appointment, blood test, everything fine. She promised me I had all my supplements, prenatals, everything. She promised me she'll give me the birth. 39 weeks come in. She tells me you have to go for a walk morning and evening, half an hour, half an hour. And I'm doing that. Not 39, the last month, in fact. Till 8th month, they don't recommend walking. And then on the 9th month, they tell you to start walking. Yeah, so I'm walking half an hour. She's even asking my husband, is she walking? I'm like, yeah, I've never seen her walking so so dedicatedly her entire life. She's been walking, but the only thing that happened, my body toned and my thighs were slim, but nothing else. The baby never came down, or I never experienced labor. So 39 weeks, 39 weeks, towards the end, the appointments are one week later. She checked me. She told me the baby's not coming down. The baby is high. Like, okay, we just have one more week. If it does not happen, then we'll do the cesarean. We'll take the call for the cesarean because the risk of rupture is higher. Yeah, she told me that I don't want the baby to go through shoulder dystocia. So it's better we do the cesarean, the water reduces. So she started to put these doubts, and I still remember at that appointment, somewhere my heart just broke. You know, I felt it's not going to be a reality. I just have 1 week to birth, and I don't know if this is going to happen. Yeah, I left that appointment with a very, I mean, with a very dull feeling that I don't think so. I'm getting what I want, and I'll have to give this up. I have no answers. And yeah, the next appointment, I agreed. I didn't know I could disagree. For me, it was like, okay, there's a due date, and I felt beyond a hospital due date. Beyond a hospital due date, I felt the days of hell after that. Like, you don't know what you're going to face after that if you deny a due date. I didn't know the power was in my hand. To not go, to not see their faces altogether. But then, yes, I went, and I didn't labor till 40 weeks, which I'm sure where I'm sitting today, I knew that was not 40 weeks. That was somewhere 36 weeks. Like, I know that it was all just a lie. Yeah. In the operating theater, yeah, she's doing my surgery. She's telling me, good, we didn't wait. The baby was very high. The baby's head was very high, and it wouldn't have had been a normal anyways. This is what she's telling me and my husband. My husband is always there in the OT. So this is what she told us, that the baby wouldn't have come naturally anyways. So yeah, that surgery got over. My hopes of having her a VBAC were dead. Like, I'm somewhere in my mind, I had shut those chapters. I'm like, okay, this journey is not for me. I'm meant to go to cesareans and finish. I'm not opening the chapter of VBAC ever again. Like, no, don't talk to me about a VBAC. It's not for me. Don't talk. I don't want to hear natural birth. It's not for me. That's the amount of hatred I carry towards those topics. But those questions again didn't leave me. What's going wrong? I'm a healthy woman. I'm a strong woman. Why can't I have a natural birth? Why is my body not birthing? I had those questions. I would still try and search them, but I never spoke to people, but just Google them, every other day or while feeding. I would just search them somewhere. Like some paper, some research article, something somewhere gets published. But nothing, there were no answers. I made lots of duas in rain, duas in sujood. Like, I need answers, I need a natural birth. Someone somewhere just help me. Third and fourth, following 2 years, I had my third and fourth pregnancy. Again, back to her. Her cesareans are very good, as in her hand for cesarean was very good. Um, I was comfortable and I would heal in a few weeks. So alhamdulillah, I did not have an issue with her doing the cesarean, but yeah, I just that's the only reason I went back to her. I didn't know whom else to go back to, and after VBA2C, I'm sure I knew that there would be no one else who would even entertain the thought of a VBAC and give me what I wanted. So again, I just again went back to her because her hands of doing the cesarean were comfortable and I was fine. Third time I went back to her. Again, I did ask her towards the end, can we try a VBAC this time? She said no. We don't do a VBA2C over here. We don't do a VBA2C. You will rupture. That's what she told me. So I just shut that topic. I got the cesarean done the third time. And fourth time, again, 2 years later, I asked her, because I don't want to go through that cesarean again. I asked her, can we try it this time again? Somewhere, I think in the 8th or 9th month, that's when I asked her. I go for the appointments monthly, and in the 8th or 9th month, I asked her, please, can we try the VBAC again? And she said, no, this time you will rupture at VBA3C. She told me you will rupture. I asked her, for sure I'll rupture. She said, yeah, for sure you will rupture and the baby will die. And obviously, when she's telling me that, my mind doesn't know anything else other than just again turning up for that cesarean date. And I turned up for that cesarean date the fourth time. Yeah, I remember she even telling me on the third or the fourth time, why are you even thinking of natural births when I'm giving you cosmetic surgeries? Why are you even thinking of natural births? They're not easy. They have a lot of bladder issues. Yeah, women have a lot of bladder issues with natural births. They go through a lot of other issues. When I'm giving you pain-free cosmetic surgeries, why are you even thinking of natural births? Why are you coming back? She was getting very frustrated with that question. I would ask her once, but she would get very frustrated with that question of even asking for a natural birth. I don't know. I think she knows. She must have attended some maybe. uh, yeah. So after the fourth C-section, okay, maybe I need to teach her then, Lana. Then, uh, okay, that's what I guess. Maybe a hospital is meant for medicalized. Yes. Uh, yeah. Then after the uh, fourth cesarean, I on Facebook I had an invite of VBA4C plus forum. And on Instagram, I was exposed to various groups. That's when the world of Instagram and Facebook, maybe that's when I found it. Because I had three back-to-back children. I was breastfeeding for 6 years. I did not have much of time to read or look into anywhere else. So after my fourth cesarean, I came across this VBA4C forum on Facebook, and I started reading stories. I started reading stories of women who waited 12 hours, 24 hours after a water break and had natural births. And that took me back to my first birth. And I'm like, all I had to do was wait. I didn't have to rush to the hospital while everyone was charging at me for not rushing to the hospital early. So that piqued my interest. Though within me, I was done with my birth journeys. I've got two boys, I've got two girls so far, and I'm like, I'm done. I'm not having any more surgeries. I'm done with childbirth. I don't want any more children. But those stories, I started reading stories. I started reading birth stories, and it started it started answering my question. Each of those stories started answering my questions, my interest into birth. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do all of this. The rage within me after reading, I was like, I was being fooled, cheated all these years. But I didn't know. I was like, every single day, I was like, I want to read a birth story. I want to read a birth story. I would just sit with a cup of tea every morning, reading a birth story, educating myself, and then narrating that to friends and sharing that with my husband. So slowly I'm preparing all of them along with myself, and I'm like, what happened was not right. Like all I had to do was wait. Like what they did was they lied to me. I had this whole bubble within me. I could not release her. Like I don't know what to do. I can't, like, okay, I would just convince myself there's nothing that can be done now. I'm done with the 4 cesareans, and maybe I'll use all this knowledge to birth my own grandkids, or maybe I'll use this knowledge to birth friends around me, or to share with people with whoever it can help. I couldn't leave that topic. I couldn't let go of that topic. I read birth stories every single day ever since. So that's where I gained my knowledge. I know exactly. Till date, now I get bored. Like I'm done of birth. I'm done with birth stories. Like I want to read something else. Uh, Yeah, those birth stories, all those birth stories had the answers that I was searching for. And somewhere within me, I would have one natural birth, and I used to read every VBA 4C story. I would have one natural birth. At least I would come back to my husband, and I was like, no, not happening. We are done. I'm like, you're not the one who will give me. Allah is the one who will give me. I'm not going to come back to you. And alhamdulillah, I think between my previous Zainab's birth, it was, I think 5 years later. 5 years later, addictive. I like the music going on at the back end. 5 years later, between Yusuf and the previous home birth, I conceived after convincing my husband. I conceived, and this time, though I would share a lot of knowledge, but the way you receive knowledge versus the way your husband received knowledge is completely different. It's north and south. So I remember it started with convincing him. I'm gonna have a VBAC this time. I would share every possible VBA 4C story with him, and he's like looking, how does it happen? Where are we going? Like, no, then I would share brochures of Australia, Canada, because in India there were no birth centers initially. So for me, I used to email the Instagram account wherever I used to find VBA 4C. So do you accept VBA 4C clients? So, and I used to share, I used to share, I think Australia, Canada, UK, I mustn't have left any country. And you're like, this is beyond my budget. This is beyond my budget. I can't afford this. And because of his work, he can't get such a big holiday to come and travel with me wherever I want to go to for a VBAC. It will require 2 months at least, and visa processing and all of those things. And he used to not find it real. He used to think, okay, it's just a little craze that she has, and after possibly few months, she'll be over it and she'll go for a fifth cesarean. And I'm like, no, that's not happening. I'm not giving up. Every other day, I would come up with some new idea. He would go to work, and in the evening, I would have my proposal ready. Like, this country is accepting. This country is accepting. I'm like, okay, he's not getting serious. He's not getting serious. I need to come up with some plan. Then I remember getting in touch with Shaima. I remember getting in touch with Shaima through Instagram, and she told me, I have a woman in India, I think, who will accept you, and her name is Tapasya. And she passed me her number, and I spoke to her. I remember there was a voice call, and I spoke to her. She heard me. I've been through this. I want to be back. And oh, there she is. I see her heart. Yeah. And she told me, yeah, you think you can do this? I'm there with you. I remember that's what she told me. Like, you think you can do this? I'm there for you. And that's the first time I heard someone tell me that you can do this. And the excitement will be still on my face. Okay, he comes back home. I met someone. I spoke to someone who's ready to take me on. She's gonna come home. She's gonna do my birth. I'm going to India, and I'm sure India is in the budget. See you, Tata, bye bye. I'm gone. I'm gone for my home. But he's looking at me like he doesn't know. And then he's like, okay, I can't deny her anymore because India falls within the budget. I remember even looking for South Africa because that even South Nasira gave me some contacts to do home births, but then again, I don't have a home in South Africa. But I reached even there as well. So it's something that falls within budget. I can reach to that place or to that person. So India sounded good, and we had a home in Pune. My husband transferred me. I called in mom to take care of me, to be along with me. Um, and yeah, for the initial pregnancies, I remember even speaking to Hafsa, yeah, I want to do. I didn't know about Lana that time. Had I known about Lana, I would have stayed back over. I had not met Lana at that point. Uh, so I spoke to I spoke to Tapasya. She told me she would do childbirth classes with me. I was like, okay, I'm ready to hear it. But by then I had read so many birth stories. I did feel I was prepared, but I enjoyed the energies that Tapasya had to give me. And I remember weekly we would sit with our childbirth classes, and she would guide me towards natural birthing, and she would explain the processes of labor, and I would listen to her. I didn't know how painful it would be. And that point, I remember Instagram never had. When I would see birth stories, they never had the voices of the women screaming behind. They would only had women sitting in pools so calmly. And I thought, that's how birth is going to be, and that's how a natural birth is going to be. And we're sitting very coolly in a pool, and the baby will easily slip and slide out of me. Little did I know what I was going to enter into. But then, yeah, my passion for natural birth was very high. Yeah, my husband transferred me to India, and I remember speaking to Hafsa. Even she said, "Yes, this can be done." So even I was excited to hear from her as well that yes, this can be done. So that took me to India, and I had maybe 2 3 months to birth. Yeah, she gave me June 4 as my June 4 as my fifth. I went back to my doctor said I have the urge to take a name, but it's okay. But she told me the fifth cesarean date is June 4. So the entire the entire month of June, I told my husband to take a holiday because my birth will happen in June. Till then, mom was supposed to be with me. I transferred to India in May, and I met Tapasya a couple of times. I remember she gave me a prenatal massage. I remember whenever I would feel low, she would come and take me to a botanical park. These were my appointments with her. They're so beautiful. She would take me to a botanical park. She gave me a train ride. It's like, let's try a train ride. Let's see if you go through labor with a bumpy train ride. I still can't forget it. And she's like, I've never tried this on any client. Let's try it on you. Okay. I enjoy a little like a toy train ride around the botanical park. We sat by the pond, dipping our feet in water. These little good memories that I have around those births. Um, yeah, towards the end, initially for my initial appointments, I would go monthly for checkups, but then towards the end, I would skip because I realized the monthly checkups don't really make any sense. Yeah, for especially the last one when I was looking at, I didn't know in that birth if I was going for a home birth, but then yeah, I was in search for a doctor in Kuwait. I visited a lot of doctors for a VBA4C. I think I must have visited 5 6. All of them told me your uterus gets very thin, and trying for a natural birth means you will tear, the baby's head will come out of the abdomen, you will die, the baby will die. That was the only narrative that was being given to me, and it didn't give me fear. When I heard it, it didn't give me fear whatsoever. Okay, thank you, bye bye. I don't want to hear this. See you, bye bye. I know I felt bad for paying all of those doctors as well that I visited, but then yeah, I don't want to hear this. Bye. I went to India again, hunting for doctors. I think I visited. My husband was still on. My husband was like, try searching for. He was then Kuwait, and he was calling the shots. Try searching for someone who will support you. And I went in India. I visited 3 4 nursing homes. I tried couple of hospitals. They told me we don't do beyond 3 cesareans in India. Go back from where you have come. My mom's looking at me. She gets scared. She's like, "What are we doing here? Let's go back." I'm like, "No, no, no. They're just scaring you. It's okay. Let's go from here." Uh, And yeah, so even in India hospitals, there was no luck. My husband kept pushing me, try some more, and I'm like, no, I'm not trying anymore. You're sitting over there and just giving me commands to try more. I'm not trying anymore. I'm done. I'm tired. I think I'll go for the home birth. So I used to be very clear in what I wanted. Yeah, I met Tapasya. Whereas Tapasya, on the other hand, she was training me towards self-birthing, birthing myself, taking it like taking those contractions myself. Like that's how she was training my mind. She was preparing my mind for. I don't know if I was confident enough to do that, but yeah. So those are the parallel journeys that I was going through in India. My mom was a bit dicey, but there was a day where she met an auntie in the colony while she was taking a walk, and that auntie told her. I still remember that auntie told her. She told that auntie that my daughter's going through a natural time childbirth after 4 cesareans. So the auntie told her, yeah, it does happen. We had in our family where a doctor refused to cut her after 3 cesareans. The doctor said that there's no more place for her to cut open, so we are refusing the surgery. And the husband took it in stride. He said, "Khali wali, we don't need the doctor. We'll do a natural childbirth at home." And she's like, the girl was born that way. And even that story gave me confidence. I like, okay, maybe these voices, these stories are telling me to stay back at home, to just continue having faith. Are these stories are answers from Allah that it will happen. Don't give up. So I went on. June 3 came in. June 3 came in. I was waiting to labor. I completely dropped the idea of returning back to the hospitals and doing those checks and all those stuff. And yeah, I was getting prepared or ready for home birth. At the same time, I had Hafsa's support as well, and she recommended me to do the Amani childbirth classes. So I had enrolled into those, and I had occupied myself in doing the Amani childbirth classes. Um, June 3 and June 17 was the 40-week date the gynac had given me in Kuwait. Um, June 4 passes, June 17, my husband is there the entire month. June 17 passes, June 20 passes, there's no labor. And by the time it's 25, I'm like, okay, I don't think so. This is happening. Take me back to Kuwait. Take me back to the same surgeon. I'll have the fifth cesarean. June June 25 comes in, June 30, and there's just no labor whatsoever. I'm like, I don't know what's happening. I started Googling how long do elephants gestate? What is the longest gestation period of a woman? I don't know what sort of searches I had, but I didn't know what the answer to that was. Yeah. Am I going to be pregnant forever? I remember Tapasya calming me down. You're not going to be pregnant forever. Oh my God. Yeah. So my husband, I tell my husband, I think you can return because he wanted to get back to work. He didn't know what he was doing for a month, and I could see he was restless. So I was like, you can return whenever the birth happens. I'll call you, or I'll manage with Tapasya and mom. And if there's an emergency, they'll carry me. Like we had alternate discussions. If there's an emergency, they'll manage me and they'll take me to the hospital or anything. So I told him to leave. So what he would do is he would come back to Kuwait on in the week, and on the weekends he would come back to India to be. So that's how he managed the next 3 weeks. And I remember for my first birth, Omar, he's born in Ramadan. He's born in Ramadan 19th. And I would make dua. I wanted my first son to be born on the day of Eid. So that's the dua I would make. I want my son to be born on the first day of Eid. And then so for this Zainab's home birth, Eid was on July 12th, 11th or 12th. That's when Eid was. So I think maybe that dua is getting answered now. Maybe my baby is coming on Eid. So I should just rest and wait. I would walk. I would enjoy walking. I did everything. I think all the lunges, the workouts, dates, name it, and I did it all having coconut water every single day, like everything, everything under the radar. I did all of it, and finally on finally on June. Finally, on July 11 is when, I had a prodromal somewhere, June end. I had prodromal for 1 week, and I thought that was labor. Uh, Tapasya were like, no, this is not labor. I'm like, no, I'm feeling pain. This is labor. No, this is not labor. It's still not patterned. Because this is the first time I'm experiencing prodromal. I've never experienced prodromal before. Then the prodromal also stopped, and 3 weeks later, somewhere in July 11th, July 11th is when I started. My body started showing pattern contractions, and I remember Tapasya telling me, "You can do this birth yourself." Tapasya was around 7 to 8 hours away from me. You can do this birth yourself. You will feel very empowered if you do it. I'm like, no, I want you. I need you. You're going to be here with me. I've cleared a room for you. You're going to stay with me for, I don't know how many days, but you're going to be here with me. I can't do this alone because I was stretched thin with the amount of time it was taking. And yeah, my patience was just jumping out of the window. I was done. Eid holidays, my husband was in. Uh, that is July 11th, pattern contractions started. Yeah, I did. Pattern contractions started, and I called her. She told it's still too early to come in. It's still too early to come in, and even me coming in would disturb the birth, and I don't want to disturb her birth. And by the time it was evening, it was getting a bit more painful. Like, I want you to come now. I don't know it disturbs or not disturbs, but I want you here over here right now. You're gonna come here and stay with me. And she came. She came, stayed with me overnight. By the time the sun would be down, the contractions would they would amplify, and we thought I would birth on the day of Eid itself, the same morning. But by the time the morning came in, the contractions subsided. So that was my first day of labor. The contractions began somewhere 3 in the afternoon. That's the first whole night that when they would give me hip presses and let them sleep the entire night. I was throwing up. Yeah, mom took care of the kids in the other room. So this is how the birth went. And this is my first time experiencing the whole thing, not knowing what's in my destiny, just going about with the flow. And the first night, even they were very enthusiastic. They were awake. They were helping me around. My husband, Tapasya, they were around. The second night, because now it's the second night now, I'm in labor, and even they are sleep deprived. They were tired, and I'm like, no, nobody's sleeping. I'm going through a lot of pain. uh, but yeah, the second night was the final night, alhamdulillah, and I birthed around early morning, 5 o'clock. Earthside. She showed her presence. My daughter was born. She was born beautifully. She was pink. She was crying. She didn't latch on. That was the only concern I had. And I couldn't believe the first thing I think I must have touched was my scar, because the amount of ruptured scars that the doctors gave us. I touched my scar just after birth. I didn't even want to touch her. I just touched my scar just to see whether I ruptured, whether I broke open, I tore apart, or I don't know what. I bled to death. I just wanted to feel the scars. I'm like, it's intact. I'm fine. It's intact. It's there. I didn't. I mean, I birthed on my fours. Yeah. They transferred me onto the bed, and I was fine. I was still in shock. I couldn't believe I went through a natural childbirth. I still felt it was. I felt as if it was a cesarean. I couldn't move. I had to talk to myself. I can move. I can go to the washroom. I birthed at home. I had to speak to myself. I just felt, okay, maybe this is just another cesarean. This is not real. This cannot happen. I mean, there were parts where I don't know, maybe it's just the trauma releasing my body, or yeah. Then yeah, the baby was born. The kids woke up in the morning, and yeah, they gathered. She recognized everyone. So my babies recognized the siblings immediately. My husband, not so much, because he spends the entire day at work. So he's the last generally to be recognized. uh, but maybe they can hear, because I think in whom they hear all their siblings. So she was responding to. We named her Zainab, and she was responding to all of them. And yeah, uh, the first thing that came to my mind was that we need to have a doctor checkup, but I was recovering. I did not have any tears. In 5 pushes, after 2 nights of labor and 5 pushes, I birthed her. And I was just resting, recovering that day. And I thought I'll give her a check, a doctor check, but then let me just absorb the whole birth. Let me just rest, nourish myself, sleep a little, and then I'll go to the hospital for a checkup. That was my afternoon comes in, and I think my eldest son puts her on the bed. And I remember Tapasya that morning they wanted to clean up and everything, and I told them I think I've tired all of you all a lot. All of you all can rest and you all can leave, and I'll be okay and I'll be fine. Uh, uh, and I told them I think and I remember Tapasya leaving, departing, and saying her goodbyes. And I think afternoon comes in. We put her to sleep, and when I went to because she hadn't taken a feed, so it was playing in my mind. And she hasn't taken a feed. I did express and feed her some, but she hasn't taken a feed. So I was trying to wake her up, stimulate her, just move her jaw, and like trying to stimulate her for a feed. And I thought, okay, whenever she'll be hungry, I spoke to my sister, like babies sometimes they sleep for 12 hours or they sleep and then they ask for a feed. So I was just trying to take reviews. And I'm like, okay, maybe she'll take a feed when she's hungry. But when we put her to sleep in the afternoon, and then when I tried to wake her up again after a couple of hours, she felt different. As in, she felt different. She felt limp. Um, and my mom touched her, my husband touched her by the time it was evening, and uh, my husband rushed us to the hospital. My mom also felt, okay, this is different. My husband rushed her to the hospital. I was at home. My husband rushed. I called a friend and I told her, I think my daughter is no more. Like, it was my husband, my mom. They left with the baby. They immediately rushed the baby. They didn't tell me anything. And because I was alone at home, I called my friend and I told her, I think my baby is no more. She's not here. And she's telling me, no, everything will be fine. She'll be back from the hospital and she'll be fine. I don't think so. I think she's no more. uh, and yeah, I think I accepted the loss because it just happened within a day. I didn't know what happened, and it all felt like a dream. I was excited from the VBAC, and immediately the loss took place. And yeah, I didn't really have much of feelings behind the whole thing. It all just felt, it all happened so quick. Today when I sit back, I do feel even that loss is a privilege. Like, it's like a little crown that Allah places on you. He honors you with that loss. That's how I'll describe it. Yeah, then my husband, I think my husband and my children, they took to it very hard, and they were weeping for days. Tapasya came back. I told her, it's okay, we are fine, but she came back. She's like, no, I'm coming to visit you all again. So I remember she was telling me I was boarding onto a bus to reach to her destination in Delhi, but she came back to visit us again. And we buried the baby. Baby was taken to the hospital, but then the doctor said the baby's no more. Uh, then the next day we buried the baby, and honestly, I was absolutely fine. Um, I don't know if I'm the strongest, but yeah. And the next day, give me few days. I'm like looking at my husband. I think I'm ready to go back to Kuwait. There's no point in sitting over here. What is the reason? I didn't want to know the reason as well. Yes, everyone did ask me, what is the reason? What is the reason? I didn't want to know the reason. I just didn't know. I want to know the reason. For me, that birth was a gift. It was a gift from Allah, and that girl was a gift from Allah, and Allah took that gift from me, and Allah's taking care of that gift. So I didn't want to know the reason. 100 people came and asking me, what is the reason? What is the reason? I don't want to know the reason. I honestly don't know the reason. And I don't think so anyone will know the reason, because I haven't thought, like, when I die, I don't want people to know the reason why I died. I mean, that's how much I lived in this life. That's how long I was supposed to live. And yeah, uh, Yeah, first thing, once after my baby was worried, we did have some visitors. Again, the Indian drama that comes in, a Desi drama. I'm myself an Indian, so yeah, she was selfish enough to do the home birth. Why did she do the home birth? Why did she kill her child? Some people might even say directly, or you will hear it from various other ways. Um, she spoiled her own life. I spoiled my own life by doing such a thing, and I'm like looking at them like I'm supposed to feel that, right? Not you. If I'm spoiling my own life, I'm supposed to feel that. I'm not feeling that, so you don't have to worry. And yeah, a lot of things, but they didn't move me whatsoever. They did. In fact, I had this question said why she didn't latch on. Those were my little. Should I have taken her to the hospital right after birth? Like these would be the little regrets that I had. But I wouldn't even call it because when I spoke to my sister, she said you should be happy that you were not in the hospital and you got those 8-9 hours with her. Had you been in the hospital, she would anyways pass away. You guys wouldn't have had those 8-9 hour memories that you all hold with her. So like yeah, that makes sense. That does make sense. And it was meant to happen that way. And it took me a year to wrap around those chapters and close them within me that it was meant to happen that way. And that did leave me with the feeling of wanting another baby and wanting another VBAC and looking at more, reading more birth stories where second home births happened after 4 cesareans. And I would share those stories left, right to everyone whom it would help. And my husband, I know he was heartbroken. He's like, no ways, I'm going through all of this again. Uh, uh, because he's buried he buried his daughter and it was hard for him, so it took a lot of talking. It took a lot of convincing. Yeah, I came back to Kuwait. They told me because I was ready to come back to Kuwait in 3-4 days. My mom and my husband looking at me. I think it's better if you rest for at least a week or two, and then we'll take you back. I'm like, no, I'm feeling very restless. I just want to head back home because I'm born and brought up in Kuwait. I really wanted to head back home. Like I had no other purpose of staying in
I'm
India
on a call.
anymore.
It's nothing there except a person talking. Nothing.
I had no other purpose of staying over there, and yeah, I was back home. And when I drove from the airport back home, honestly, it just that birth felt like it was all a dream. It was all a dream, and I came back. I went with my 4 children. I came back with my 4 children. Everything else that happened in between was only a dream. You know, that's how it felt. It had memories. It had memories, but it felt like a dream. I came back. Uh, I thought, okay, I remember, I thought, why not let's serve women? I mean, I still have lessons. I wanted to share the story to the world. I still had lessons. I still learned a lot. I had a healing feedback. And I thought, what am I going to do with all of this? And I still wanted to help women. I had the passion or the urge to help women. But a lot of times I was met with answers like people would call me to hear my story and then, oh, but your child died. I don't want my child to die. Oh, but we want a living child. Oh, we want a, like, those are the answers I would get. And it would hurt me. It would hurt me. I didn't want to kill my child. That journey was, meant for me, and anyone else can go through. I'm not the only one who's been through. Anyone else also can be. So I would just silently hear it. I would not shoot back any rude answer or anything. But then, yeah, if someone's calling me, I would just respond in whatever best man I could. I hopped onto the journey of becoming a doula with Amani. I was reading books. I enjoyed reading books, husband coach, childbirth, and I got exposed to a lot more deeper birth knowledge. And wow, I was enjoying it. I was like, okay, I need to become a midwife. I was speaking to my husband, let's go to a country where I can do home births. Like, I feel so passionate about this. And again, they don't take you so seriously, but then, yeah. uh, he has a job over here, so yeah, we can't move. So I could do whatever best I can do on WhatsApp or just guiding women towards birth and things like that. And yeah, deep down, yes, I would always make dua for another baby as well. But yeah, I don't know if it would happen. I was not chasing it anymore. Like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, I'll birth my own children, and I would have those thoughts. I'll help birth my friends around me, or again back to those thoughts where I would channel them to. So I became a doula, and yeah, After becoming a doula, I remember even Aisha Al-Hajjar coming over here. I resat in person and repeated the course. And yes, again, I was pregnant. Alhamdulillah, Allah blessed me with another pregnancy, and I was pregnant last year. And this time, I wanted, and I remember even sitting with Hafsa and Lana after the loss. I remember Lana crying. Lana thought I had a successful VFOC. She hugged me. She cried. I didn't cry. I know I didn't cry much after that birth. I was happy. I was very happy that Allah gave me a gift. Allah's taking care. Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam is taking care of the baby, and yeah. But I remember Lana crying, and they both told me in Hafsa's house. They both told me, if you are having a pregnancy again, yeah, I know that. They both told me, if you're having a pregnancy again, you are not going anywhere. We both are birthing you. Be it in the desert, be it anywhere. We both are birthing you. You're not going anywhere. So that's something that stuck with me, you know. Like I would that's something that stuck with me, and I'm like, okay, that's something very special. Like I hope I get to birth with them, but they're there for me. I have someone around over here. Yeah, there. And I had this pregnancy, and they both are the first ones who came to my mind. I had like Sneha Tapasya in India, Lana and Hafsa in Kuwait. Like, where do I go to? And then I'm like, okay, I'll make a WhatsApp group and I'll add all of them and they'll be there for me. So I had these combinations in my head. And like, let me go for the let me go for the local support. I spoke to my husband. Like this time I'm doing it in Kuwait. Because the confidence of doing it in Kuwait also came because I read birth stories where people are birthing in the Gulf. All they have to say towards the end is that it just happened too fast and finish it off. You don't have to disclose your home birth plans to them. Like nobody can stop you from birth. I was like, yeah, confident enough, like to know all of that. And like, what are they going to do? They're going to throw me out of the country. Okay, I'm ready to move. Just for things like birth, like yeah, I'm ready to move out as well. Yes. Yeah, for the previous home birth, that's what we were scared. Like, it's not legal over here, so it's better you all go to India and do the home birth. If any issues happen, uh, people told us that my husband might have work issues and you might be told to leave the country and things. I heard all of that, so like instead of having legal issues, I might as well go to India at that point. But this time I was confident, like I'm not moving out of here. As much as I would miss Tapasya or want to do a birth with Sneha, so even those people are in my mind, but then I like this time sticking around here itself. Yeah, and uh, so this birth, it started with me telling my husband, I think I can do this myself. All I need is your support. If you're ready, I don't think I need to hire anybody. Uh, but I have Lana. I had Lana's package with me. I have Lana. I have Hafsa. I have Sneha. I have Tapasya. Tell me whom you are ready to pay for. So it's best you have one support with you because I think maybe he got a little scared. He didn't want the entire responsibility on his shoulder. I was not even putting the entire responsibility on his shoulder, but then he's like, it's better that you have someone with you who you can share the daily grind with, or if he's occupied with work, because you don't know what the last one shows. And I felt that this time it would be easier because I've been through the whole thing, so this time it would be slightly easier. I just thought it's not easier. That's what I felt. Yeah. So that's how Lana comes in the picture, and I remember sitting with Hafsa as well, and Hafsa told me Lana is the best fit for you. I'm like, yeah, I'm very comfortable with Lana, and I messaged her that I'm expecting, and will you do my birth? That's how I remember it as, and yeah, we met a couple of times, and she was there. I wanted this time I wanted a wild pregnancy. Technically, I didn't want any hospital visits. I didn't want to even pee on that stick. I just wanted to listen to my inner voice. I wanted to have an intuitive pregnancy. I didn't want the hospital whatsoever. That was my inner calling. And yeah, um, I uh, I used to do an exercise class which I couldn't do anymore. I had got my periods on track by losing certain by losing weight, and my periods stopped. That's how I figured out I'm expecting. That's how I knew within me. Okay, I skipped 1 month. The second month, I am expecting. That's what I felt. I couldn't do the workout anymore. My body was aching. So the slight weakness was telling me, okay, I am pregnant possibly. And my husband would be like, where's the confirmation? Like you would put doubts in my head, like, how do you know? How sure are you? Like, I didn't want to resort to anything medical. I will know when my belly grows, sort of a thing. uh, then like because of those little doubts, I was like, okay, I don't think so. I have to be so strict on myself. Let me do the pee on the stick or the home test and find it out. The first came negative, so I was like, how come this is negative? I was like, okay, let it go. I'm not sure then. I'll wait for 1 more month, and I'll again in the third month I'll use the home test and I'll check. So that's where I'm using the first intervention. I'll call even these as intervention for some reason. At this point, anything is an intervention. Forget looking at the doctor's face, but anything would be an intervention. And then, yeah, in the third month, yeah, I again do the home test, and it came negative. It came as a single line, and that left me a little, because 3 months I don't have my periods, and I don't have the second line as well. I'm like, okay, maybe it's an ovulation issue, because I've had ovulation issues in the past, and sometimes I've taken the hormonal meds and things. Possibly could be an ovulation issue. That put me in a second mind. And so I went to a walking hospital nearby, and she asked me, "Are you pregnant?" And I'm like, I don't know what to say. I said, "No. I just come for a checkup." I went to a gynac, and the doctor asked me, "Are you expecting?" I'm like, "No," because the home test came no. So I'm like, "No, I'm not." But I want to do an ultrasound. So that's how the first ultrasound came into place. Like, okay, let's get an ultrasound done and check. And that's when I checked myself, and they're looking, there's already a 3-month-old baby in this big baby in the 3-month-old baby. You don't know you're pregnant? Like, I knew I was, but somehow I like, okay, I think the pharmacy sold some faulty sticks or whatever the issue was. It showed me negative, so I was not sure. That's why I'm here. That confirmed my pregnancy, and after that, I know I'm not going back over there. And I think I did a blood test. I did blood work. Then at that point, there again, the issues with the sticks. That's what I felt. uh, and then yeah, I yeah, after that, then I got Lana on board, because my husband said, no, we're not only doing this together. We'll take support from someone. So Lana came in the picture, and yeah, the pregnancy went through, no ultrasounds, no blood work. I had a blood work done in the beginning. I just read the report. I seen some levels up and down, and I'm like, as long as I'm feeling fine, I'm not going to. I did not even get that report checked by the doctor. Uh, I'm like, this is not for me. I just like, I'm feeling fine. I don't want it to be checked. I took no supplements whatsoever. I I didn't want supplements either. Like, I'll eat good food. I'll eat eggs. I'll eat whatever. I don't want supplements. Anyways, I go through nausea for the first 3 months. I don't. When I'm trying to have those supplements, I'm throwing up more than consuming them. So I just felt it pointless to have supplements. And and because the previous home birth, I did everything, like the walking, the lunches, the uh, like the date eating, everything. And this pregnancy, I'm going to breathe. I'm going to have it the way I wanted to. I don't have to walk every day. I don't have to. If my body's asking to rest, I will rest. If I feel like cooking, I'll cook. Like, I wanted to hear my inner voice. I didn't want ultrasounds. I wanted to be a wild pregnancy. The pregnancy goes through, alhamdulillah. I did not go for any checkup. So my meet would my meet would be with Lana. I remember in one of the appointments, my friend asked me, so Lana comes to see you. Does she even touch you? I'm like looking at her. What does that mean? I don't want anyone to touch me. Like, what will happen if the baby's not going to just come out? She won't even. She does not have a magic crystal ball. She doesn't have a crystal ball where she can, after touching me, she can tell me how is everything going inside. I remember these conversations. Or people would ask, "I taking supplements?" So then, yeah, I would try and not disclose much because I know out there everyone belongs to the medical world and people are running for monthly appointments. So hearing all of this is like there's one crazy woman staying in our locality who's not doing anything, and so I would just be shut about my plans, or very few limited people would know. Or I would just say, yeah, I'm going for appointments. Yeah, I'm going, everything's fine. Just you just nod your head and you move on. Um, we discussed plans, we planned it in Kuwait. Did I have thoughts of going to India? I would miss India for the food that it provided, like the coconut water or the amazing fruits that are there in India. Those parts of me did take me back to India. Like, should I be going back there again? So the tropical fruits and those parts are the ones I miss. Tapasya and her comforting touch as well. Her prenatal massage, those are the things I miss. And I got to know Sneha. Even she would tell me, "Come here, come to me. I will birth you." So even she was as a friend, I would miss her as well. Maybe I should go to her for birth. Like there were days, can I go to like how many people are you going to birth with? My husband would ask, there were days, how many people are you going to birth with? So yeah, so I still stuck here. Then I met Hannah as well, who was trying for her VBA 3C, and I remember counseling her. And at that point, she didn't know I was expecting because I had kept it very limited. But every time I would counsel her, it would be as if I'm speaking to my own mind. I was speaking to my own mind through her. It's like I'm counseling her as well, but I'm talking to myself also that you can do this, I can do this, you can do this, I can do this. That's how it went on. And I remember she also telling me, I'm going to Kerala, I'm going to birth village, and trying like, no, if you can do this in India, if you can do this in birth village, if you can do this anywhere around the world, you can do this in Kuwait as well. Because the body is going to do birth anywhere, right? It's going to do the same thing. So yeah, it was but then yeah, there were points where she wasn't surrounded with doctors and they would scare her of the rupture, and then she would come and tell me, they scared me about the rupture. And because even I'm expecting, like if she's getting scared, I'm also getting scared. And even I'm not sleeping through the night. My husband like, "You're not doing any doula work in the pregnancy. Will you stop that now?" Because I like, okay. But yeah, she's a very good friend for me to let go of her. Or there were periods where then I would just take a break and then get back. And I recommended her as well to Lana. I was like, I disclosed her of my pregnancy and I told her, I'm having my birth with Lana. And I think I'll suggest you the same, that you also have your birth with her. And inshallah, I told her we'll celebrate our babies together. I think we were just a month apart. My birth was in Jan, her birth was in Feb. Um, Somehow it worked for her as well, and it worked for me as well. Yeah, the months come to a closing, and the only emergency that I knew over here was I had to just call the ambulance. If there was any emergency, the ambulance will come here in 10-15 minutes, whatever time it takes them for them to come. So in my mind, I told Lana that I know I can do this, but just in case if I need you, I'll give you a call. And if there's any emergency, the ambulance is getting a call and they will be here. And I had hospitals around me. Lana still suggested me to visit. I was asking for a gynac towards the end because I have to register with a private hospital. She suggested someone 15 minutes away. I went, I visited her, and she was from the UK. I remember her, and I went. I was like, I'll not disclose I had 4 cesareans because if I disclose, they take your birth history depending on whatever you want to give, and it's not linked. So I told her. I remember telling her. I told her to. Now I'm lying because I'm lying to the hospital because they will not allow me after 4 cesareans and natural birth. They're not going to allow me. Even if I tell them I had a home birth and I had a loss, they will still not allow me. They'll start scaring me. So I'm aware of all of that. So I went to the hospital thinking, okay, I will reduce the number of cesareans just so that my file is open and I can go to any private hospital to birth, and there are no issues. I'm going to have the home birth, but I can just go after birth they would not support. I can understand from this. So this doctor, I told her I had 2 cesareans and 2 natural births. That's what I told her. 2 cesareans, 2 natural births. And she was positive. She was like, okay, I have she was a VBA2C supporter. She's done VBA2Cs, and she's like, yes, it will happen, but you have to be left undisturbed. She told me there's still chances of you tearing, not you tearing, but she just said because with more natural births, the scar can shake and it might not be as strong. So you need to be a little careful, and just make sure that everything is fine, and you need to be totally undisturbed. So there were parts of her where she felt I was hiding something. Couple of times she did ask me, is there anything you can tell me, whatever you're hiding is, you can speak clearly to me. Like, no ways I'm telling you I had 4 cesarean because because you're not going to listen beyond that. So yeah. So December end, she told me December end December end, she told me. So in the first ultrasound I did, the due date was January 1 New Year. That's when the due date was. So December end, however, I had to prepare for my file. So in between, I absolutely never went to the hospital. Nothing. I was just at home. The baby was growing and everything was fine. So yeah, she told me just make sure, and she told me I'm going on a holiday December last week because close to New Year time, a lot of people go for their holidays. So she told me, um, I'll speak to my team. I will see if they're ready to take you on. If they're ready to take you on, and if your birth happens somewhere December end, you can come over here. She asked me, do you have the anomaly scan, which is done at around 5th or 6th month, I think. But I did not go for any scans. I did not have the anomaly scan with me. She did the ultrasound because over here with the private checkup comes in the ultrasound. She said the baby's head looks engaged. She gave me a rough weight and she looked at my scar. I didn't ask for all those things, but then just the regular ultrasound checkup. She said things look fine, and yeah, the appointment went good, and she was a good doctor. She felt like a good doctor, and she told me most likely the hospital will not take you on because you don't have an anomaly scan. But if your birth happens somewhere in January, when I'm back from my vacation, you can come to me and I'll birth you. That's what she said. So that's it. I shut my appointment. My husband was with me. And the keyword that my husband picked from there was undisturbed. She has to be left undisturbed. That's the keyword that he picked. That's what he says. And we came back from there, but we had another hospital more closer to us. Another private hospital was more closer to us. It was Salam Hospital. We thought maybe we will check with one more doctor over there. Just to open a file and keep a file ready, just in case if their services are needed. Though my plan was just my plan was to home birth, but it is just better to have the entire backup ready. And in this hospital, I looked at the doctor's list. I selected a Sudanese doctor. I selected a Sudanese doctor because it's a poor country. They must have seen more home births than medicalized births. And she looked a bit innocent, not asking a lot of questions from the picture. So that's how I selected this doctor, and I went to her. And this time I thought I will disclose. I disclosed to her when I opened my file with her. I disclosed to her 1 cesarean and 3 natural births. So again, I'm lying. But of course, if they can abuse you, violate your rights, and if they can mutilate you, all these lies are so small in front of them. I mean, I will not encourage women to lie, but when you're pushed to shove and when you don't have anyone hearing you, you are left with no option. I told her 1 cesarean and 3 natural births, and the whole hospital language changed. They told me, oh, this will happen 100%. Do you want to see the rooms right now? We can book a room for you. I'm like looking at them. No, the room is not a priority. My birth is a priority. I'm not interested in the room. I hope it happens. But yeah, in fact, my plan was to disclose just my last 2 births, my 1 cesarean and 1 natural. My husband, like, since we have 4 kids and on our profile or a portfolio, our kids are written, before anything turns legal or anything, it's better if we, because from my scar, no one can tell me how many cesareans I have had. So yeah, just one cesarean and 3 natural births. And yeah, the doctor was, she didn't ask any questions. She didn't write anything on paper. She didn't ask any questions. She's like, yeah, it will happen. I remember, so in December 2nd or 3rd week, that's where I went. And she told me, if you're laboring, just come to the emergency. And I'm sure you know everything about labor since you've had natural childbirth. That was her language. And yeah, everything was fine. And the only thing she was trying to tell me, at 40 weeks, at 40 weeks, I will rupture membranes. I'm not looking at her. I like, no, I don't let anyone do that. I know how to respond to them. I'm not going to scar. So yeah, I have a single line. So that will be visible. If it's 4 times, it's under my belly, but then yeah, it's visible. Yeah. She told me I will shake the membranes and induce labor, and like, no one's touching me. Definitely no one's going down there and touching me. Then both the doctors asked me this question: how long did your natural childbirth take place? I told them they happen between a range of 38 weeks to 42 weeks. Because I told this window just so that I could buy myself time, and they wouldn't sit on my head or they wouldn't ask me any additional questions. Then her next question was, how can anyone wait after 40 weeks? I like, because I waited. What did you do? I never showed up. I would tell like, I never showed up. I waited. I don't need anyone's permission to wait beyond 40 weeks. I I do what I want. Yeah. So she just told me, okay, don't run away this time. You can come whenever you're laboring. Uh, and then my husband's like, okay, we'll go next week too. And I'm like, looking, no, files are open. I'm not going anywhere. I'm done. I'm done visiting doctors and I'm done telling lies to them. And yeah, I just want to be back at home. And I would meet Lana. I would be in touch with Sneha. Oh, I got in touch with Tapasya as well. Yeah, towards the end, as much December. I think December prodromal began on December 1st week, and it was going on. I was expecting birth to happen in December end. I thought it wouldn't go for long. The first home birth, prodromal was for a week, and within 2 weeks, I was possibly thinking it'll be in around the same pattern. Within 2 weeks, I had my labor, but this time the prodromal was even longer. But didn't happen in December, and I again started having feelings. Oh my God, I think I should just give up. This is not meant for me. Will my baby live? Will I live? And a lot of thoughts about life and death, and if I cry in front of Lana, I don't know what is she going to think. like this, she's going to give one tight slap if I go to the hospital. And then yeah, I just wanted to hear again and again, you're not going anywhere. Like yeah. So I would get in touch with all of them, in fact. Yeah, like Tapasya, I would someday say to Tapasya, like, Tapasya, don't leave me alone. I can't do this alone. Like you can do this. Or Sneha, like, do I have to go to the hospital now? No, you're staying at home. You're not going anywhere. Like, no, I don't know if it's gonna. You're not going anywhere. Like, I've lied to the hospital. They're ready to take me in. You're staying at home. You're gonna birth at home. Like, okay, fine. Like, yeah, they just would not give up. And Jan 1 comes in, like, baby's coming on New Year maybe. And I had 3-4 mamas who were expecting in and around the same time. Everyone births. My birth is not happening. Though I know with the previous birth, if a due date is given on Jan 1, that means birth can happen anywhere from December till February. Because that's how previously the date was in June, but the birth happened in July. So I knew I had to keep my mind open all the way till February. My calf was hurting as well this time around. I tried walking, and yeah, those fears did come in. I thought it would be easier, but those fears of rupturing and all did come in. And I was trying to breathe into them slowly and take it one day at a time and try to keep it positive and just try to be with uh, all of you all and the supporters that I had, and they all kept me going. And comes in the days where my husband would take me off home and spend the day out, so that I'm distracted and I'm thinking of thinking of something else. So that day it was raining, and we just went. I think we had chicken tikka for lunch, and it was raining. And I come back home. I'm going to reach day of the birth. And yeah, some nights were intense where I would speak to Lana. Today I'm feeling it. I think maybe tonight, maybe tonight. Every night would feel like maybe tonight, maybe tonight. Like Lana would calm me down, and everyone else would calm me down. Again, June 3, June 3rd, and the New Year holidays end, and my husband tells me I have to go to work only one day on January 4th. His plan to take a holiday was only birth and then after birth. So I think from December mid, I started like, no, you're not going work. I want you back at home. I need additional support. But he was determined. Like it's only birth and after birth, I'll take a leave. And he told me January 4th, I have to go for one day because I've got some important work. As in just the handover part and things like that. A lot of people coming in from the holidays into work and all of those stuff. So somewhere like, okay, January 4th, I'm not supposed to have the birth. And January 3rd was the night I fell in labor, and the baby, not me, but the baby didn't let him go to work. uh, January 3, it's 12, and the pattern contractions begin. And I'm like, okay, this is labor. Now I understood this is labor. And first thing I messaged Lana. I told her pattern contractions have begun. She told me I can speak to you. I was they wouldn't let me lie down. All these nights, at least if the pain was there, the prodromal was there, I was sleeping, but these would not let me lie down whatsoever. I couldn't lie down on the bed. So I was on the bed frame on the other side and swaying, and I messaged Lana. She's like, I can speak to you. I like, sure, like, let me see. I'll speak to her. It was night 12. We spoke, I think, for 45 minutes, 1 hour, we were speaking to each other in those contractions. And it was this general motherhood, what's happening, how is it going, just general topics of what I was doing, what she was doing around, and with a little bit of mourning. And I realized when I'm talking to her, I'm not feeling the pain. I was feeling the pain before speaking to her, but when I was speaking to her, I was getting distracted, and I was not feeling the pain. I was not feeling the pain as much. And my husband listening to the conversation on the side of the bed, and yeah, and I think after 45 minutes, an hour, I get this urge to go to the washroom, and I'm unable to focus also. um, uh, I'm unable to focus on what she was trying to tell me or to hear her. So I was like, I think I need to go use the washroom. So I hang up the call. If I need you, I message her, or the way I was speaking to her, if I need you, I'll give you a call, because if labor goes for 2 days or 3 nights, I don't want to call her and ruin everybody's sleep for 2 3 nights. So as it gets closer, I will call you. And yeah, I went to the washroom, and I'm back, and the contractions, they are building up, and the pain is coming and going. And my husband hears the conversation with Lana. He's like, here, come sit with me. I will hear you. I'll sit and talk to you. I'll distract you. And my response was like, no, I'm feeling more pain with you. I'm not going to sit and talk to you. I'm feeling more pain with you. I could take those contractions on my floor, on the carpet. So I was on the carpet, I was on my fours. Every time those contractions come in, I would go on my fours. I was asking to time the initial contractions. They were like, he was telling me 5 minutes apart, but I didn't find a pattern. Some were 5 minutes apart, some were three, some were two, some were five. So there's a different play altogether. And I could sense, but because I think he didn't want to disturb me. He just told me they're 5 minutes apart. He just wanted to ease into them. He just told me they're 5 minutes apart. Like, no, they're not 5 minutes apart. I think I'll sleep on the carpet today on the floor, because I'm unable to be on the bed whatsoever. And you can go to sleep. I think for as long as I can take this, I'll take this on my own. I messaged Sneha after shutting the phone with Lana for an hour. I'm going through those contractions. I messaged Sneha. And he went off to sleep. I had a couple of friends who told me over here we would like to attend. Like, one is Hannah's sister-in-law. She's my friend as well. She's the doctor. She was like, ready, I'll attend your birth. Even Ubeda, so some friends would love me. But I was not sure if I wanted so many people to attend my birth. I told them, if needed, okay, I will definitely remember you all. Um, And I was taking those contractions. Every second, third contraction, I was going to the washroom. I was coming back. I was going on my fours. I thought I wanted to sleep, but then I couldn't rest. Back and forth. I just wanted to be in my room, and I wanted to be in my room. I had my Rebizo prepared, but I didn't use it. I didn't use the Rebizo. I was only comfortable on my fours. And the contractions this time, last time for the first home birth, the contraction on my hip was in my hip, but this time the contraction was on my scar and my hip. So it's the back and my scar. The scar part gave me a little freak, but because in the contraction the scar was pulling in, I was still okay. I was like, okay, it's being held. It's not being ruptured, it's being held, that's the feeling I had. So I was fine with it. And but the first time I felt contractions in my scar, I could feel that part, that's contracting inwards. I'm like, okay, maybe that's just that area is just pushing the baby head down. That's how I could answer myself. And yeah, I would just go between the washroom and coming back. And then I woke him up. I'm like, no, you're not sleeping. I can't take. I mean, it's getting hard. If you can give me some hip presses. So my husband gave me some hip presses. It felt better. And Lana gifted me a heat pad. We got that heat pad on. That also felt better. So the hour just kept passing by with these remedies. And because in my previous home birth, I enjoyed walking through the house. It was a small house, but I remember Hafsa, Tapasya, and my husband making me walk through the house, and it's a squat walk, and that gave me ease. But this time, I tried to step out of the bedroom, and like, no, I'm back in. I just only want to be on my fours. So I feel that your body is trying to tell you to do something, and that's the only thing that you can do. You can't be forced into doing anything else. It's just that I wanted to be in my room and I wanted to be on my fours, and I was on the buffet table. Maybe just there's a dressing table in my room where I was squatting and moving my hips. I messaged Sneha, I messaged my sister. I told her my contractions are these many apart, and yeah, I'm in labor. So while my husband was trying to, I mean, he loves catching up on his sleep at night. So if he was off, so I would just find some support here and there. And I even remember messaging someone on Insta. She had a two, some Farhan Rumesia. She had a two VBA, two HBA 3C. And I remember, I think I had messaged a few days back, and she replied me on that night. I was reading her responses. Uh, and she asked me, "Are you in labor right now?" Like, yeah, I'm in labor right now. I feel like giving up. I don't know. Like, why do you feel like giving up? Breathe through each contraction. And she also had a lot of positive encouragement. I was reading through those responses of hers, and yeah, went back. I woke my husband up. I told him, you are staying awake now. Otherwise, I'm calling my friend." Or I could remember one friend, the Lana's sister-in-law. I'm calling her. So like, okay, I'm not calling him. He took it seriously. Like he stayed awake, and I started throwing up. We had kept a bucket ready if I would throw up, and my husband would just wash the bucket and get it back. I threw up twice. The contractions were getting intense. By the time it was, yeah, morning. I started at 12. By the time it was 4:35, between that, they started to get even more intense. And 4:45, I was done. Then the heat pad, the hip presses, nothing was helping. I could feel the pain. I could feel every bit of pain. I mean, I'm rupturing. I'm blasting. That is it. I can't take this anymore. I give up. Call the ambulance right now. Call the ambulance right now. I'm leaving. Call Lana also right now. I need her right now. Nothing is happening. So my husband picks up the phone. He calls the ambulance. And again, he calls up Lana, like, Mubina is laboring. She needs you right now. Uh, so this is just, I'm going with the flow with whatever is happening. And that's it. He was in between those phone calls, and I surrender on my fours, and I felt I'm ripping apart, and the baby's coming out. I had like my trauma mind, my instinctual mind all in play, and I'm telling him the baby's coming out, the head is coming out. And like, and it was flipping in between. The head is coming out. I'm rupturing. My skull is rupturing. I need the ambulance. I need Lana. I'm doing this, like a lot of mixed noise, but I was speaking it out, whatever I'm feeling. And in no time, in between all those phone calls, because now the ambulance is also calling him and asking where is the address, how do we get, like, whatever is happening. And then in between those calls, he tells me, the head is out. Baby's head is out. I didn't even realize that the baby's head was out. And then in the next push, the baby was out. And then once he told me the head is out, I eased, and the pain felt a lot lesser. The thoughts of rupturing went away, and then I'm like, okay, my birth is done. And that feeling, I just completely eased the pain. The pain went away, and yeah. And the next push baby was, he held the baby, and I think again he called Lana and he told, baby is here. We are waiting for you. I remember that phone call as well. But so many things that happened. I can't remember the sequence of what happened at what time. It was so quick and so fast. I never expected birth to even happen that night. Yeah, the baby was here, and baby was here, and my husband seen him first, and he showed signs of like he wanted to latch on. He was showing signs of wanting to latch on, and he told me, I think he needs you. And he asked me, how do I pass him? He had no clue how to pass, because the cord was there. He didn't know how do I pass him like, pass him to between my legs. He passed on the baby to me, and the next thing. Let go while we talk, because it will progress. I'll read through. Okay, and yeah, they put the hospital pad down there, and yeah, I even remember towards the end, in one of the hospitals, I got a blood check done. Everything was normal in the blood check, except my ferritin level was low. So all throughout, I wanted a wild pregnancy. And when I seen my ferritin level low, I was like, oh, my ferritin level is low, and I got it only 1 week before birth. I'm like, look, I had a panic within me. I messaged Tapasya, Sneha, Lana, all my birth. My ferritin level is low. Will I bleed to then? Like, that's my question next. And like Lana told me, get in touch with the midwife, because I'm not sure of this. And like, Tapasya, I remember Tapasya telling me, eat eggs. And I ate eggs through the pregnancy, or I've had dal. I think maybe the hospital has some issue in giving me wrong ferritin levels. Or I told myself, okay, I'll not bleed this pregnancy. And like, I just fed myself some positive story. Like, I don't have any other option right now other than just going about with my home birth. And Hamza, I didn't even breathe so much this birth. I remembered at that time, because that was my fear. Yeah, how much would I bleed? I would be okay. The next thing, I wanted to come back up from my carpet and be on the bed. And then comes in the I birthed my baby, and yeah, and I was on the bed with him. I held him. I couldn't believe it happened. And he latched on. He was gazing right into my face, and the paramedics comes in. My husband goes down to receive the paramedics, and they ask him questions, what happened. And there were two nurses from Kerala, we still remember. And they took the entire update from my husband. Everything's fine. She birthed the baby, and it came out too fast. We can't disclose that we had planned a home birth, so it just came out too fast and things like that. Because I didn't have clothes on, I didn't want them to come inside the room. But since they checked everything was fine, and they checked everything was fine. In back forth, my husband convincing me, get yourself checked. They want to check my BP, I think, and the baby, and yeah, the placenta wasn't delivered by then. So I like, no ways they're coming in. You're gonna make them stand at the door. My birth has happened. My placenta will come undisturbed. They are not stepping in my room whatsoever. Tell them to sit in the hall till I deliver the placenta. Then we'll decide what we are doing. I'm the one who called the ambulance though, and I'm sure even Sneha heard about the ambulance. Why did she call the ambulance? Like, that was my panic part. Then Sneha was on. Lana is on her way. I think she's at least 45 minutes away from me. So, but when she received a call for her to reach me, it's going to take some time. Uh, yeah. Sneha was on call with me by then, and she told me
So,
before
so
you head to the
Lana
hospital.
messaged me, and it was morning time. I completed my prayers, and then I get this message that, oh, the baby's out. I'm like, okay, so I should be calling her. So yeah, you call her because I'm driving, and I think they have also called the ambulance. I'm like, ambulance? Where is the placenta? Placenta is yet to be born, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Then why is the ambulance there? So like, okay, so you're gonna birth the placenta, and then you'll be transferred to the hospital. So like, yeah, 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 let's do that way. So yeah, until Lana could reach, I think I was kind of just there a little bit here and there.
Yeah,
But
she
these
was
people
there
are
with me on
already
the whole
knew how
call.
to do it, so not major things.
Yeah. Sneha told me, how are you feeling? I'm like, I'm feeling good. And she told me, have a glass of milk before you head to the hospital. So Matt prepared a glass of milk, and I was sipping on some milk. And we were Lana was here, and I felt relief. I like, okay, now Lana's there to fight with everyone. I can rest. Lana will tell the ambulance people also to go away, everyone to go away. I don't have to fight anybody anymore. So Lana comes, she sits next to me, and the placenta as well, within like the next 10-15 minutes, it slithers out. She puts a chair right next to my bed, and we're sitting, and she's watching the baby. We woke the kids up. She held the baby as well in her arms. When my daughter was up, she was sitting next to me. Then I gave the baby to her. She held the baby. My daughter held the baby first. Uh, my eldest son, he heard the whole birth. When I was throwing up, he woke up and he heard the whole birth. And he himself noted the time down when he heard the first cry of the baby. I never asked him to do that, but that's, and he heard the entire sequence of how the birth happened. He didn't come and witness it, but then he heard it. So it felt good. I have things running in my head. I'm sure he's gonna go to his father-in-law someday and say, my father birthed mama, so I'm gonna birth your daughter. And his father like, what is he talking to me? This is the sequence that I can think of. Like, this the experience that he carries, and I really love that. Then he went to wake up my second child, my daughter. That's Munira, and again she loves sleeping like a father. So he goes to wake her up. Baby is here. Like, get lost. What nonsense! Stop joking in front of me. Go back to sleep. You're dreaming. Like, she couldn't believe it whatsoever. And then yeah, really, baby is here. I'm not joking. As usual, sibling fights. They won't believe each other. And then they all came in the room. They met the baby, and yeah, we were wrapping our heads around birth, and it all happened so quick. Comes in, we have to go to the hospital over here because we have to obtain a birth certificate. It's not allowed. It's not allowed to, yeah, home birth. So I have to go to the hospital. But I was sunk in the bed. I wanted to rest. I was tired. My body was sore after the birth. And Lana was cool. She was comfortable. I think even if I were taken 2 days resting in the house, she would have been fine. It's like, yeah, whenever she's ready, whenever she's ready to go to the hospital, my husband like looking, are we ready? Let's go. Let's go. I'm like, no, I don't want to go anywhere. And telling him, get the hospital to me. I'm very tired. I'm not coming to the hospital. And then 3 years later, slowly, steadily, the placenta is out. A bit of the placenta was stuck in my vagina. So then I tried to tuck it out a little. And we slowly went to the washroom. And when I tried to pass urine, that's when the remaining small piece, I think 90% of it, 95% of it was out. A small part of it came out later. And yeah, we just washed ourselves and we headed to the hospital. There was a point where then we took the call. We told the ambulance people to leave. We will manage. So they just checked. I refused the blood pressure check as well. And you guys told I'm feeling okay, so they left. They checked on the baby. They left. We told we are going to a local private hospital instead of the government one. Yeah, I asked him, can you call the ambulance for the private hospital because I didn't want to walk. I just felt maybe I'll bleed, or I had those fears within me, or maybe I can't do this. And they both are looking at me. Come on, you can do this, okay? You can walk and you can go to the hospital. There's nothing happened to you. I'm like, okay, fine. No, there's no messing around. I'm like, okay, let me do this. So slowly I walked, and I think a lot of your trauma does stay within you. It does not completely go off or erase. We washed and we head to the hospital, and they think we put the placenta in a bag. This time I didn't even touch the placenta. I think Lana and my husband managed it, and they put the placenta in the bag. and I was holding the baby, and we sat in the car. We seen a neighbor as well walk down, but I think the uncle was going to work, so he didn't even realize that the birth happened or anything happened. Like very very quiet, just nothing happened at home. And we head to the hospital over there. Also, they didn't realize that I've birthed at home and I've come till we like telling them the birth has already happened. Like, and then the shock till then they thought I have come for any regular appointment with the baby. So they were very fine till we said and the baby is born in the morning, and it just happened. We have come for admission, and they're like looking, how did the baby come out? What is it doing? That's when the panic set in. They told me we're not sure if we can admit the baby, but we can check the mama. So I think Lana took in that front. I was like, I'm tired. I'm not fighting anybody. You both do, Lana and Mal, you both do whatever's to be done. And yeah, get it done from there. So couple of questions. They checked me. They did an ultrasound. They said the scar is fine. The blood is fine. Like when I heard that, things are fine. And I'm like, that's it. Now no one's touching me in the hospital whatsoever. I just need to rest over here for a day. Depends on how much it trouble me, and I'm going to run out of here as soon as possible because I need at least the birth certificate part. And yeah, then they told me maybe we can't register the baby. We can only admit you. So Lana was like, you'll have to tell us immediately whatever you're planning to do. Otherwise, we'll switch to the government. I mean, if you're not taking us, we'll go to the government. And then they're like, okay, fine. They called the doctors and they took me in. Still, they wasted time. They wanted the IV on. They still wanted the IV on. And they wanted 1 hour in the triage room, 1 hour in the labor room. They did all of that. They wanted to administer Pitocin. I refused. I'm like, if everything's fine, why I don't need the Pitocin? They started scaring me. No, you have blood pooling. You're bleeding a lot. If we give you Pitocin, it's better. The fears are getting on to me. Lana was there with me for 2 hours, and then because she also has kids to look after, I told her, Lana, you can leave. I think I can manage after this. I thought it wouldn't be so hard. I called Lana because she had left. They're telling me to take the Pitocin. Do I need to take the Pitocin? Like, no, it's not needed whatsoever. I'm like, okay, I don't need the Pitocin. Lana says, no, I don't need the Pitocin. Go away from here, all of you all. I like just transfer me to the room. And then she told me you have a minor cut on the labia. It's not bleeding. So the key word for me was it's not bleeding. She told me you need 2 stitches. Like if it's not bleeding, why do I need the stitch? It will heal if it's a minor. And if I'm feeling okay, I don't feel like anyone touching me right now. I'm in a lot of pain. Just leave me alone. Let me rest. If I need anything else, I'll come back again. That's what I told them in the labor room. So she's like, there's no coming back again over here. So whatever procedure happens now, it's now. There's no coming back in later. I'm like, what sort of a rule is this? Okay, if there's no coming back later, I don't want to come. Just send me away. I'm done. I'm done being here. And then that's it. There was a Pakistani doctor that came in. She doesn't want anything. Why are you all fighting with her? And let her go. Let her transfer to the ward. So after 4 hours, I asked for, because I was hungry after the labor, I asked for some food. The only thing that they were ready to offer me was an IV and a glucose in the IV. And I'm like, give me some food to eat. Something to eat. I didn't have my phone as well, so I couldn't get in touch. My husband left food for me on the table and asked him to pass it on to me, but they wouldn't even do that. So yeah, that's the only option that they gave me, the IV. So at some point I accepted the IV and I took in the glucose because the baby was separated. The baby was taken to the nursery for a shower, which I mean, I know I had the rights to refuse it and all that stuff. But I could, maybe because we were separated, I could feel a hormonal imbalance and I could feel a bit of panic within me, like what's happening, why I'm not being transferred to the ward. So I accepted the IV and the glucose and a bottle of glucose. Like maybe this will give me a little comfort. Maybe this will make me feel okay. But I wouldn't even suggest that because I feel it's good to keep your body warm as much as possible. The glucose made my body cold, due to which I had a lot of pain in the following days, as in the muscles that contracted because they became cold. Um, I experienced a lot of pain in those muscles in the few days, and I felt that it was because of the glucose. But then yeah, I can't pinpoint any reason. Yeah, so then I was transferred to the ward. Yeah, and I stayed for a day and a half. Baby latched on well, and I was back home. This was my birth. This was my second home birth after 4 cesareans. Yes. Yeah,
Wow.
this baby we never put in. Tell me, yeah.
You continue. I'm just amazed. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm just living all your births.
Yeah. This baby, we named him Saleh. My husband named him after his grandfather, whom he lost like last year. And because we had a previous loss, some of the anxieties don't leave you. We never put the baby down. The baby would sleep for 2 hours, 3 hours. I would be fine. If the baby is sleeping for 4 hours, I would like just go wake him up. Like some of those anxieties don't leave you till a certain time period, or how we have healed. And yeah, we hold him close. We all love him. Oh, I think I'm done now. Now my husband scares me. Even if I think about my husband, now I need triplets. I like, no, no, no. These are, yeah, that's my entire birth story. But then, yeah, alhamdulillah, with you. Yeah, inshallah. See, they all are having fun.
Yeah, like this has become a group chat where all of it did not get any time ever, and they had to be chatting, Lana and Hafsa especially. So, Lana, would you like to share
Yes.
how was it for you? Tapasya, we would also like to listen to you. How did you feel your mother, the one you were trying to train to free birth at the first time, and she did it absolutely at the second time. How do you feel about that, Tapasya? Yeah.
Are you asking me? Can you?
Yeah, so I have kept it open for both Lana and Tapasya. Whoever is free, they can talk.
Can you repeat the question again, please?
So Tapasya, you were training her at the first birth to freely birth, right? And now she has free birth her baby. So now how do you feel as a teacher, as a mentor, as her midwife after listening to the story?
Obviously, very proud. Obviously, very proud of myself. That's a joke. But yes, I am. Yes. But yeah, Mubina, I always knew after the first birth that she was going to have one more baby. It was written. And I knew this time she would do it alone. And I was actually happy that, first I felt a little bit, oh my God, why is she telling me now? Like, very late. She never let me know that she was pregnant all along the way and all that. But I also felt very glad that she had the support around this time, which was more available to her. And because I was, a little more busy than before. And I also felt that now she was empowered enough that she doesn't need me, and that is kind of a relief as well. You feel good. Oh, great. I mean, once your first time clients, they become second, third, fourth time mothers, and they just do it by themselves, and they just tell you, oh, baby's here. And so that's how you feel. I feel really good about that. And that is the
Okay.
same thing I feel with someone. She had her third baby with me, and the next one just on her own, and the next one just like in a jungle without telling anybody. It's nice. That's what I actually want women to do. Just have their babies and let me sleep. I'm
Can't
now,
blame them. Yeah.
I'm growing into a grumpy midwife who just doesn't want to
Yeah, who don't want
spend
to spend
restless
that
nights.
the night time being awake.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Tapasya told me, oh, do you know that Mubina is pregnant? I'm like, yes, I'm texting her right now. And then she's like, yeah, I kept it very, low key and this and that. So then Mubina was like, I have seen your labyrinth, Sneha. I would like to experience that with you. And then when I did labyrinth with her, obviously the last few weeks of her pregnancy, and I was like so amazed at being a mother who has been, she's birthed so many times, but the fears were the same basics ones, what about the scar? Why did my mother did not tell me at the first time? That first birth was so hard for her to realize that, the women did not support me. It was only Tapasya who just told me that this was something which was doable. So
Yeah.
it was
I do tell that, yeah, she's like the mother in my life. That's how she is.
yeah. So it was fun working with those
And I would tell
peers,
her, I would
and
tell Tapasya, you feel like the mother, you feel
so I also love the fact that, Mubina kind of utilized all her energies. She texted midwives and birth keepers and like birth keepers like us throughout the world. She had Fatima with her, she had Lana, Hafsa, B, Tapasya, like कि किधर किधर से मैं ये where should I get the energy from, or like positive, just tell me that,
yeah.
like she knew the
Yeah.
answer.
Well,
Tell me the thing. Tell me that I can do
yeah.
it. So like, yeah, you can do it. You should be doing it at home. Once I remember, she's like, does she just texted? So we used to have random text messages. Oh, is it normal to have pain in the scar, Sneha, when you're getting contractions? So I'm like, yeah. So when the baby's like getting in, so my mothers do say that they have this pinching feeling or like contraction near the scar, and that's absolutely fine. When the baby's getting inside, it will happen. Oh wow, thank you. That satisfies. So these things were like very important. Like as doulas and birth keepers, we need that support. Supporting so many women, saying them in all of them that it's okay, you're doing great, but you also need that reassurance. And there, I feel so privileged to be able to help my doula sisters, and to be like, yeah, you're doing great. Hafsa, would you like to say something? Lana, I'll just pin everyone so your team looks here right in front of you. Lana, would you like to say that we had a conversation, you and we were there together, and you mentioned that if she goes to the hospital, I'll slap her. Not after all of these labyrinth and working on your fears, no going to the hospital thing. So you had that thing said, and that was like game. I hope the Indian doulas can speak this way to their
Yeah.
clients. We cannot speak this to our client that will slap you if you go to the hospital.
Well, you can. You can. It actually filters out the people that, like I said, want to stay in the drama, and then the ones that Tapasya also wants to work with, right? Like it's kind of like we, we start somewhere with like, we just want to help women, and like what Mubina was talking about, like we become a doula because we think we want to save the world. We want to show them that they can do more, and there is this time where we wanted more than they wanted themselves. Like they wish for it, would be nice. It's like this dream of being intact and not being hurt, right? And of course also having a cool experience and a good experience and an empowering experience, but they don't really believe yet that it is actually available for them. And then they think they can outsource that with us, whether it's a midwife or a doula or whatever. And then it comes to this point of like, you like with Mubina, like she hired me as like an add-on, like a nice to have thing, and not like the I need Lana in order to be able to give birth. Like I know already I can do it. I just need someone that I can rely on that reminds me of it in moments when the doubt creeps in, when it's not even the outer world. Like you need to be able to shut this off, because otherwise you will crumble once the first person says anything to you, and this will always come, whether it's family, friends, random people, or of course the medical world will always find something. Like with the shoulder dystocia, like why would you randomly say this to a woman who is not even in labor, like just throw something at her. And then when a woman decides like, okay, I really want this, and then chooses to book with someone or to seek the support of someone who is not trying to save you, but to like protect the space that you want to be in with your goals. I think that is when the shift really happens. And I think it's also a humbling experience for us, because we all came from, at one point we were all trying to save women, and then we learned in our journey that it's not our space to do that. This is not the role. It is more of like, like creating the space that they can feel free and comfortable to do and make their own choices. And once that happens, they will achieve it. Like no matter what, they will. Like there's not one woman who has opted for it who has not gotten the birth she wanted. So it becomes a like any woman that decides, like when Mubina messaged me, I'm like, okay, that's it. So when she said like I want to go to the hospital, or like there's no other option, but like you paid me a lot of money to support you, and now you want to go to the hospital, like are you insane? Like it's just stupid. Like it doesn't make any sense, right? You yourself are sabotaging. And this is the thing that with this whole like hospital checkups and this whole like grooming, you don't realize that you yourself are inflicting this on
Trauma.
yourself and your baby. It's not the doctor. Like you can blame the system, you can blame the doctor, but in the end, you're the one who's going there. You are the one who are telling yourself that you are a bad person. Like with Bida, when she said I lied, and like we have this um conscious feeling, which is like, of course we shouldn't lie, of course we should be honest, and all these things, whether you're Muslim or not. It's like you have this like integrity and being honest and a good person. But when it comes to people who might inflict harm on you, you need to protect yourself and your baby first, and making these choices and deciding to put yourself first. Because like when Mubina said, oh, I had this number of like she presented herself once with like 3+1, 2+2, like different scenarios. And so she got the experience of like, hey, they treat me totally different, but in my body nothing actually is different, right? And then when you learn this, that you have to kind of navigate and put yourself first, you get like access to different doors, right? Like you can go through different doors into different realities, but they are all available to you. So it's your own self. So that's why I'm like, okay, I speak like a bit harshly with my people sometimes, but it's like a wake up call. Like we can sugarcoat it, we can try to be nice, we don't want to say the uncomfortable thing, but in the end, it's like if you can't tolerate that someone says the truth to you, it's just a mirror, because you don't want to tell yourself the truth. Like you are trying to protect yourself and staying in this other uncomfortable world. And when you compromise, like someone said this to me, like once you compromise, both people lose. Both people are on this compromise, because and when we translate this into birth, I think the people that work in the birth field that truly care about the women that they work with, they are not happy with the outcomes. They are not, like they are working in the system, and they are trying to, I don't know, make it better or have like something better, but there's always this thing. And the other ones, they already don't care. So the only person that cares about you enough to actually go for like, I want the 100% good experience, is yourself. So I think that's what I'm learning, like with each experience, with each birth, whether it's a story that I hear of a woman that shares like in detail, it's always the mental transformation of I'm allowed to do it. It's within me, I'm capable, and truly like understanding you are your own best coach. You can hire someone, but this person's not going to do it for you. It's like same thing with physical exercise. Like nobody can do it for you. You yourself need to put in the work. And once you understand this, there's no holding back. And this is why Mubina didn't hire me to do it for her, or to I think, and Mubina, please correct me, like more like for your husband and for like the outer circumstances, than for your own self. Because in the end, it's like when you have just a good woman, whether it's your friend or it's your mom or anyone, maybe even your husband, is so supporting you with what you want. They don't even need to be an expert on the topic. When they reassure
Yeah.
you when you feel weak, you can go for it. Like, yeah, to hush the noise, yes, to just silence those voices of that you can't, or especially for women, like it's too much, right? Like it's like, how dare you? Because the power that comes with a birth, even when you witness it, but of course when you go for it yourself, is like, I mean, you birth a baby, it's so huge that, just like it's so huge when it's taken from you, but it's so huge when you achieve it, and when you achieve it without that someone else takes the credit. Like, right, like for me, it's like a big thing, just like, who delivers your baby? Like nobody. even in a, like nobody, you birth your baby, you don't deliver it, you birth it. And this whole like way of how you speak about it like minimizes the whole experience so much, right? Because birthing is something big. Like you birth an idea, you birth a business, you birth whatever, but like you birth a baby, but versus delivering, which like anyone can do, you know, like Aramex is delivering stuff, and like the food delivery is there and everything, but it's not giving it the true credit. So everything is making it smaller while it's actually something so big. And I've not seen a woman that give birth in her power that hasn't been a totally different person afterwards, you know. And for Mubina with the two birds, you know, with the one where she's lost her baby and handled it so graciously, like seeing it as a blessing, which of course doesn't, you know, like erase the grief that comes with it. And it's the same way with a birth that you have, you know, like you can have an amazing experience and still grieve something, and there is always um like there is always like good and bad together, right? But keeping the focus on like how you can improve something for yourself, which she did, rather than going into, you know, like now I've done this, and like how people literally tell you like you killed your baby, you know, like you done something horrible. um Keeping this separately, that like this has nothing to do with that. And that's the biggest part, like, you know, this whole home birth thing, or even free birth, like for us in Kuwait, right, where I am a doula. Like I make it very clear, like, you know, how many, like it's always the husbands who is like, are you not doing anything? Or the families who like, are you not touching it? Like, no, and I'm not a midwife, like I'm not a medical professional, right? So the role as a doula is not that. But when you like really have to step into this like decision, okay, like you give birth yourself, whether you're in a hospital or you're at home, there is always a risk. And in the hospital, a lot of medical stuff happens. How many babies end up in the NICU after birth? Like home birth, less babies end up in the NICU than the babies that are born in the hospital. So when this whole um, realization kicks in and people become so aware of how the reality really is and how much they can shape it for themselves, this is where true like power comes, you know. Like that's why for Mubina in the end, when we were on the phone and she told me like that she's in an active labor, and you know, and I'm like, okay, let's talk, you know. And this was middle of the night, and then we were talking in the beginning, and she had, I think, like 3 moments where she stopped talking during this like 45 minutes call. But like if you have 3 moments where you stop talking and you're not screaming or anything, like you're breathing calmly, and you know, like um then you're nowhere that you actually like need me right now, because you're managing fine with, you know, just being connected. And this doesn't mean labor is not happening, doesn't mean birth isn't happening. It just means that you're not freaking out to a point where you actually need another person, which is great. This is the goal. The goal is that you're okay, right? So this is like what we, when we were talking, and that's why we talked about random topics and not about like, how does it feel right now? Where is the sensation? And we just talked about kids, you know, kids drama, bedtime things, and, you know, like the normal daily stuff. And then I realized, okay, so there are things happening, but she's feeling good. And, uh, and this is the key, like what Tapasi says, let me sleep and just birth your baby. And in the end, it's like, it's not like neglective, because some will say like, what did you even do? It's like, this is not something where you need to do things. Like, why is the good doctor in the hospital the one that like stays in the corner, that steps back, that is not trying to do everything, right? So in the birth world, and because there are other women listening now, it's like the best job that we can do is like you reassure when it's needed, and you know, like you're there for the woman, but not like in, oh my gosh, everything is so horrible and I don't know. And you're like, yeah, okay, I can help you. Like, okay, what do you want to do? Like give the responsibility and the power to the woman. Okay, make a decision, you know, especially when they say, oh, I don't know, like I just want to go to us. Okay, what do you want there? Okay, so like, okay, what's next? Like, what's on your mind, right? And like to bring the calm back and to reassure. And for Mobina, this totally happened, because when we hung up the phone, like she was the one who was like, actually, I want to hang up now. I want to go to the bathroom. Like, okay, cool. Like, you know, I'll call you later. Like, if there's something, like, just go to sleep now. And it's like, she could have called me to come over before we got on the phone. Like, instead of going on the phone, she could have asked me to come over when we ended the phone call. And I think she knew, like, she knew she's in labor. She knew things are are happening. And it's not only because she didn't want to bother me to, because middle of the night to come out and so on, but also because it's like I know my power. I know that I am okay. I know that I'm safe. And this always brings us back to our faith, right? Because it kind of goes out of the window. Once you're pregnant, it's like, oh, dignity, our body, everything's like, oh yeah, you, Obigyn ward, they have access to everything. And decisions and touching our bodies and seeing our bodies. No, it's like I made my own decisions. Like that's how I felt with Mubina. She made her own decisions and she made this call of like, okay, so if baby comes, like, subconsciously, like if baby comes now, like even that I can handle. And then if I need something, there is time. I give myself time. I give myself grace. I'm able to handle things that happen. And this is really great because it lets you work on a, like from the doula perspective, it lets you work with someone that is not clinging on to you to do something for them that they are not even sure if they deserve to have this experience or not. But like you become like an equal. You're a woman and you're a woman, and we all have different roles, right? And maybe different skill set, but we also have different situations in life. Like, when, like, I'm a doula, but when I give birth, like, I don't want to be my own doula. I just want to be a woman that can, like, feel at ease and have someone else reassure me. And for Mubina, that was it. Like, all she wanted was this person that like reassures to just be. And this is the thing, as a woman, like with birth, like we all know it, right? Like the body, it just happens. Like it will just happen, but we need to allow it. And that's what she really did. That's why I feel it was smooth for her in a way that, like the once surrender enters the game, there is no option but success, really.
Wow. Thank you so much, Lana, for adding your 2 cents, 3 cents, or 100 cents with Mubina's birth and your aspects of being a doula. Wow. So anything else, Hafsa, or anyone would want to ask any question to Mubina, Lana? Are there any questions? I don't know, in between the chats, did someone ask any question? Check. Okay, I think if someone wants to, they can unmute and question. So I'll just ask one question, like, so going to the hospital just after the birth, that was the mandatory for you this time. And then did that fear come to you that, oh, I need to check my baby first? Leave me, just take my baby, just see how the baby is doing. Or the cry Soleh made, the latch he made at the beginning of after the birth, that itself satisfied you that my baby is fine.
I think the latch that he made, that did reassure me everything's fine. I didn't need to chase a pediatrician or anything, or to hear anything. Nothing. It didn't come to me that he needed a check or anything. I was fine just being at home and didn't want to go. I didn't want to go back to the hospital whatsoever. Yeah.
So yeah, Hafsa, would you like to say something about your day?
Assalamualaikum. Assalamualaikum. Yeah. I was just enjoying it. I had to leave in the middle for a bit, but then I came back and I caught the juicy part at the end. Alhamdulillah. And I just want to say I'm very, very proud of her, and I'm just so blessed. I think it's a blessing, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chooses the people that would achieve this blessing. So I think if you are on this path, just consider yourself very chosen and very blessed. And don't let shaitan, don't let all these noises distract you from any of this. And just remember, Allah's created is complete. Don't let anyone tell you that you can or cannot do anything. Don't let anyone play God, basically. Simple, right? Because I just feel there's so many out there trying to do that. And we need to stop them. We need to restore. This is why we do, like us as birth workers, it's not, we're not doing any miracles or anything. We're just helping mamas to restore that faith. And subhanallah, I mean, Mubina, I just remember that visit I did to you at your place with Lana. And I remember you were saying, yeah, I'm having these Braxton Hicks. And it was a while that like these are coming and going. And I said, yeah, it's fine. Remember last time with Zainab, it was happening for a while. And it was just, women just need this reassurance, if nothing else, right? And I think at point like Lana said, that when I'm giving birth, I would need a doula. I would want a doula myself. So holding that space and allowing a woman to be who she is, right? And allowing the fact that she can tap into her faith and reconnect with the creator and just reach out to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then I think when Lana and I went to meet Mubina at the hospital later on, I just loved hearing her husband's version of the story. It was really nice because we were all sitting there, the kids were playing, and these nurses coming in and trying to bother us. And it was just so like you could see the spark in his eye as well, right? It was like you could see the teamwork and that. So all that work, like sari jo piche se tamheed bandi hai na, like all that stuff that Mubina was saying, that she started to read birth stories and do this and that. This was the fruit of it. Subhanallah. So this was the ultimate thing, that all that sabr, कहते हैं ना, sabr का फल मीठा. This was the sweetest phal. And it was not just in form of your baby, it was in form of your like this amazing person, your partner, who was just so transformed. I absolutely loved. In fact, I think we should have a session with him and his perspective and how he transformed. Because I feel many women want to do it, but that lack of support from the person they're expecting the most, wo nahi milti unko.
Correct.
And I think that is somewhere we need to work on. If anything, that is where we need to work on. So that's my just 2 cents. And I mean, I love you all. I love you, Sneha. I love you,
Thank you so much.
Alana. I love you, Tapasya. I love you, Mubina. So much. And I love everyone who's been here. I mean, the fact that you stuck around for what? It's been 2 hours now or more?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
That
we
is,
always
that is very
I'm still confused of how nobody got to know that Mubina had 4 cesarean, and how does the scar go invisible? Just curious to know. Acha.
I have a single scar, right? I mean, if, it's on the same scar. The cesareans are done on the same scar.
Yeah.
So for anyone who's seen from outside, if I go to the same hospital where my file is there, where I have done my 4, they will know I have had 4 siblings. Over here, the other hospitals, they will not know. I can feed them any narrative that I want.
So
So it's
Ishmael,
only
it's
one scar.
almost that the same scar is open, and then the babies get taken out from the same scar, and then again the same stitch. Like not the same stitch,
Yeah.
but the same area has been stitched. So people don't
Yeah.
they cannot realize how many births a woman had had. I'm sorry I joined in late, but I wondered how did you manage to have a home birth into it? Just labor at home, birth, and then go to the hospital, yeah? That's what everyone does if they birth at home. So going to the hospital is mandatory.
And once the video is uploaded,
I just hope
once the video is uploaded, you can
Yeah.
hear the whole story as well.
Yes, yes. I heard people that nobody. What was the last one? Where's the question? Can anyone read that last one? Yeah. But eventually, we think you at least got some people in the like the doctors were like very gentle with you, like gentle in the sense in your pregnancy. Like everyone's like, yeah, it's possible, you can do it. So this time it was a nice narrative that you were listening. So everything positive from the doctor's end as well, isn't it?
The number of cesareans I told well less. If had I told it was 4,
Yeah, great. Okay, so let's wind up. It's been amazing Sunday afternoon. Like we just went into evening now. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, Mubina, Hafsa, Lana. And I just hope so that we continue doing this work, which is not pleasing people, but just giving 100% to the woman who deserves a better outcome at birth. So thank you so much, Lana, Hafsa, and Mubina.
Thank you.
Take care, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.